What's up, friends and foes? Welcome to Let's Get Nerdy. My name is Corey.
I'm Wyatt. It's another episode of Go-Go-Godzilla, the series where we go through every movie in the Godzilla franchise to decide which one of them truly is king of them all. And today, it's Godzilla versus Biollante. Boom!
That's right, Wyatt. Today we are starting with the first official entry in the Heisei era of Godzilla, which, starting off our little fun fact section we've started doing, this was not initially called the Heisei series. Do you know what Toho initially intended to call this?
We just talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I know we did.
We talked about it on camera, and I did not reveal it, so that because I wanted to reveal here.
Well, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. Let's see if you can figure it out. What is the naming conventions for this movie and all the movies going forward?
The what?
The naming convention.
The naming convention?
How are all the ones like this one titled and the ones going forward titled? Godzilla what?
Versus?
Yes, this was supposed to be the Versus series, like because outside of the Return, everything is a Godzilla versus Biollante. Okay. Spoiler alert: Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Heisei is way better.
Heisei is a bit more of a I guess a little bit more iconic, but I don't know what I don't really have an opinion. Anyways,
interesting.
We got 5 more facts coming at you from Wyatt.
So kind of 5 quick facts along the same path that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
10.7 million USD was the budget for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think the yen conversion. Good Lord, words are hard. Was like 700,000. I don't remember exactly. I apologize. The director is Kazuki Amari.
Okay.
It was released on December 16th of 1989 in Japan. I think it was 91 in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And it was straight to video, straight to like HBO and video or VHS.
Yeah, I know this is the beginning of the era where Godzilla movies, because they just weren't super popular here, are gonna start getting a lot harder to get over here. Yeah. And some of them weren't released over here for a good long while.
Right. Yeah. And it had a runtime of 104 minutes, so we're staying pretty consistent with the last few films. And my last, not so much quick fact, but just a fact that I thought was interesting that I was reading about was when they were trying to come up with the design or idea for Biollante.
Do you want in my lap?
Oh
okay. I didn't think. Anyway, the design for Biollante.
She can't be left alone.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be a monster that could match Godzilla.
Yeah.
But also kind of be something a little bit different, a little less. All right. Bipedal, for example.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And so the director, one of his thoughts was that something that might be as scary as nuclear, destruction, if you will, might be like bioengineered technology or a monster in this instance.
Yeah.
So they kind of went that route to make it, in essence, possibly as terrifying as Godzilla could be.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We have a co-star today.
I'm getting shaken down right now.
Willow.
Hi, Willow.
This is Willow, by the way. This is my...
I think she's smelling beagle. My dog on me. How you doing, Willow?
Okay. Oh my
god. Okay, so that's pretty cool that they've, I guess, updating the fears from nuclear destruction to
it's
bioengineering.
Bioengineering. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought that was neat. That was a neat thought behind creating a new monster. So which I think starts leading to our initial thoughts of, because history-wise, just to get that out of the way, I don't have too much with this. My history is Biollante was a Godzilla monster I learned about kind of around I want to say 8 or 9, and thought sounded cool. But this is one of the weirder movies that's kind of harder to find, not super available. So it wasn't I never found it to rent at a video store or Blockbuster, and then
I never saw it online either. So I don't have a lot of history with this movie, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't have a lot with this one either. I mean, I saw it, I think, late night on TV one night, and it was like 2/3 the way through the movie, probably. I remember seeing Biollante, and I know I had seen, I've seen Biollante since then, like online and stuff like that, but I had never seen the full movie until a couple days ago. So
yeah, same. Which, to start with our initial thoughts, then, I really liked this one. Exactly because of it felt like them not only do okay. I really like this one. I thought it was a huge improvement over Return.
yeah,
and this is, I really liked the story of it. I thought was really good. I loved the idea of, yes, like exploring the dangers of biochemical and, like, man playing God again in a different shape or form.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I actually thought this did the mad scientist story from Terror better.
Yeah.
Like, because which we'll get into that when we get the more spoiler thoughts. But Wyatt, what did you think? What are your initial thoughts for Godzilla versus Biollante?
I have some kind of like mixed feelings on it. Like, I really like it on one hand. I like how original, in a sense, it is. Like, I love the new monster. I love all of that storytelling dealing with Biollante. But it kind of pulled me out of it a little bit when there was kind of like the random James Bond themes that seemed to be like interjected into it. That was kind of pulled me out of it, and I didn't really enjoy those or that theme, I guess, in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it just didn't mesh with me, but so I'm kind of not really sure how I feel about it totally yet. So
okay. Well, with that, let's start getting into our more spoiler heavy thoughts.
Yeah.
You miserable little people of Tokyo. You've done well to tune in, for this is the show that's got everything. You'll see news item coming in. Just don't go away.
So, to start into the more spoiler heavy thoughts, before I guess we review the actual plot or go run through any of that, one thing I do very much like, and I want to dive into, is I actually feel like they positioned Godzilla to be a lot meaner in this one and a little bit more of an actual monster than they did in Return.
Yeah.
Like there is a rampage scene in this that is fucking awesome.
It's great. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. Every action scene in this movie is fucking awesome. The human ones are okay. There's a couple shootouts with that I think are entertaining, but for the wrong reasons. They kind of feel a little bit more of the Showa era than they feel of the Heisei era. But I guess there's other shootouts going forward in the Heisei era. Spoiler alert.
Oh
God. But I love the. I thought the X2. Okay, I thought the X2 in usage and those actual like scenes where Godzilla and the X-Jet are fighting are much better in this one than they were in Return of Godzilla. However, I think the design in this one sucks. I think the X2 looks very stupid. It looks like it, for some reason, reminds me of. Do you know the Sega 32X?
Not at all.
Okay, so if you don't know, there was a Sega Genesis, and about, I think, halfway through its lifetime, there was an edition that you could literally hook onto it. That was like the 32X that took it from 16-bit to 32-bit. It was part of. It was one of those things that was very much what led to Sega not being a competitor anymore, because why would you add an addition to your console? That's a whole other discussion right there. But it looks like that. It just the like clunky, big, like rectangular, like piece of shit. It does not look cool. Again, like I thought the action scenes with the X2 jet were a lot cooler. I like the idea of the technology of like using mirrors to absorb Godzilla's rays and shooting it back at him. I thought was really cool in concept, and like it moved a lot quicker this time than in '85. So those are it. And like, I guess, is there anything else that jumps to mind while I'm rambling here for you, Wyatt?
Hold on. Yeah, I guess to kind of talk about is it the Super X2?
Yes.
Is it For one, that's a goofy name.
It's
a little silly
for being a movie that comes out in 1989. It's the most 90s name for a fighter jet.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it is kind of a. I don't know. It's not my favorite of the anti-Godzilla technology machines that they've come up with. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but just I did like the fight scenes with it though. It did move quicker. I liked that it was submersible. That was pretty cool. I did think it was kind of, I don't know, odd like that Godzilla didn't ever like learn from what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like in regards to mainly the shooting the reflective panels and stuff.
Yeah, he just
kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it, and it was like, buddy, come on, maybe learn.
Yeah,
just a smidgen.
And like was lucky enough that his atomic breath is what defeated it still.
Yeah,
because he just overloaded their heaters and stuff.
He just like kept spamming the same button in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, correct.
But I mean, I enjoyed it. It's not like I despised that
thing
or that craft, I guess you want to call it. But
yeah,
that's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and so another thing I did enjoy is I want to give a shout out. I think this is one of, if not the strongest human plot since the original. I would understand why you don't feel like that, but like I really like the concept of this. So if you're not aware, the concept of the Biollante plot is that a scientist who was experimenting with Godzilla genetics and stuff like that, I guess went to collect some, and his daughter came along, and his daughter ended up dying on that expedition. I think she like fell from something. Am I correct for that?
The facility like exploded in some regard. Yeah, I think it was like set up, like bombed by the Americans, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And she died in the explosion. So.
Yeah, and so his story largely becomes, it turns out that this caused him to experiment with both plants for their regenerative properties, his own daughter's genetics, and Godzilla's genetics all at once. That eventually creates the second titular monster, Biollante. And I think that's a really cool origin for the monster.
Yeah, it is.
Again, kind of going back to the like humans playing God, messing with like stuff that they're not even should, and like even the scientist who created it, being aware of like he stopped, like I'm pretty sure like he had stopped the experiments at one point. It was like, this is too dangerous. Like this is dangerous.
Yeah.
And then I forget what actually triggers it, the Biollante to grow. I think it was the two. There's like two weird dudes skulking around a laboratory.
Yeah, the two nincompoop like Home Alone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even compare them to the Home Alone guys were better than these guys, but
pretty much the scientist, like we were discussing, creates a bacteria that combines his daughter's DNA or genetics, DNA, however you want to put it, with Godzilla's and plants to create the monster Biollante that while like gets pretty much set free while these people are skulking around with these ridiculous, like, pretty sure it was French accents.
I don't know what the fuck.
He kept being like, "All right, man, what are we doing next, man?" And it was like,
and they had like really tight tank tops and little gold chains.
Oh, they were jacked. Yeah,
it was.
And there was one point that there was a John Wick looking guy too.
Oh yeah, he just showed up throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, and just was like shooting people from afar.
Yeah.
At one point, one of the two guys, when they were getting shot at, were like, "It's like Lethal Weapon," which I was like, that. I don't know why that made me laugh so much. Just because like Lethal Weapon was literally was 2 years before this movie, so it's just funny. Like I don't know, but eventually this leads to the reveal of Biollante, and also in here you do get the. How do I say this? The introduction of there is a Godzilla unit that's tracking Godzilla's activities while he's still within the volcano from the last movie.
Yeah.
That's another thing I really like. That this is a direct sequel that it acknowledges everything that happened before between this and the original. like, because all the other ones always seem to be kind of in their own little world.
Yep.
And that's fine, but I just like the idea that this is a connected series now.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because then it leads to one of the coolest fucking moments in a Godzilla movie ever that I'm going to talking about in a second.
Okay.
But you also get the introduction of the telekinetics or the telekinesis school of like, which is another cool fucking moment because they go into the school and they're like, all these kids are drawing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
And it's all motherfucking Godzilla.
Yeah.
That was
cool.
And they hit the theme.
Yeah, the theme hit?
Dude. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was so fucking sick.
That was awesome.
I forgot about that.
I did too. You started to say it.
And then I watched that and it was like late at night on my couch. I was still going like, yo! Another shout out. You get the first the title treatment in this, the opening credits, when you get like the holographic with the red and blue lettering.
Yeah.
Opening credits are fucking awesome in this movie. And I really like the way they use the telekinesis, like playing up the sci-fi aspect of it, like not only is there a bioengineering weapon that the government is now looking into using, like telekinetics as a weapon in itself. I really love that. I love the world building it establishes.
Yeah.
And I love that they eventually use that to read the thoughts of Biollante, to like establish that there is a human element still within Biollante, that where you get the reveal that the scientists also use the genetics of his daughter.
Yeah.
And eventually you get the coolest fucking entrance in the Godzilla series. I don't care what comes next. I don't care what came before. I've said it before. I love the arrival scenes.
Yeah.
I love the entrance scenes.
Yeah.
And motherfucking Godzilla rising up from a volcano with it erupting behind him is the coolest thing. Period. It's the best. It's his best entrance at the very least. If we were ranking entrances, number one, we'd end the series right now. I don't care what comes next.
It's so good.
And that's where I will say, like, the plot, there's really good themes. I like it, and there's like enough that I can leave without. The reason I love this so much is every time Godzilla shows up, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Because
we get the theme, we get the suit that we're both probably the most nostalgic for. Okay, it's the suit that I'm most nostalgic for.
It's not quite.
I love this look of Godzilla because I had these movies on VHS tapes. We'll get into that. And yeah, we like I said, like last week, it seemed like they were like holding back on Godzilla, like destroying shit.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they did not.
No,
he was fighting the military. He was fighting, like, you get more. And I love that they have more and more weapons to fight Godzilla. So there's actually they're doing what they can to respond to the threat that is Godzilla.
Yeah.
I like this whole goddamn movie so far. What about you?
Oh, I like it a lot, and I like how, like, you mentioned like that they're getting the title card down, like the theme is here, like it's kind of starting to get like a little bit more like they have the formula, of how they want to proceed.
Oh, this is firmly Godzilla in the era of the blockbuster.
Yeah, it's great.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And I like you said, there's world building with the school and the different like Godzilla defense weapons, like the giant fucking maser that's that's cool. I think isn't the girl from the school, doesn't she return? And okay, so we're getting that
she returns in one that is a personal favorite of mine.
That's what I thought.
If we get to it, when we get to it, I'm gonna have a good fucking time.
Yeah, I thought that was who that was. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Like, it's cool to see like they're like they're actually, like you mentioned, this is a sequel. They're building their plot and their world and their characters and stuff. And it's not just like a crazy like little action figure fight session.
Yeah.
That's nice to see that. I mentioned the theme once already, but I'm gonna mention it again because the theme is fucking amazing.
Dude.
I love it. The score was, oh my god, hello. Hi. The score is great. The volcano scene's fucking great.
Yeah.
I like the Godzilla suit. That's also great.
Yeah.
Pardon me, sir.
I love the effects of the heat ray.
Yeah.
They keep reiterating heat ray in this one. They don't say atomic breath.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna start saying heat ray, but
it looked good. It wasn't like too wispy or too.
It was that solid blue line that I've been waiting for, man. I can't even hide my bias for this series. This is by far my favorite era of Godzilla. So
it's great. Oh boy, yeah. I know we talked about the two goofballs already, but then their like counterpart in all of their scenes was pretty much that like Iranian guy that was like John Wick from 1999.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
It was super weird. But that's what triggers the explosions too.
It is.
Because it turns out they had set bombs to like blow up the volcano to release Godzilla, and this dude like one of the guys when they were in the initial shootout did get fucked up by Biollante while they were shooting these tentacles all of a sudden sprang out and like pierced him and stuff like that. And as they were driving, there was like a car chase, and the dude gets shot like right in the head, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking between the eyes.
Yeah.
Another phrase we like to use: surprisingly brutal. It's just right between the eye, and then that's when the bombs, and then we get the fucking.
It was
perfect.
It was perfect. I don't want to spend too much time on the human stuff, but like the part like near the beginning when like there was that like the soldiers like captured the briefcase and then they were trying to run away with it, and then that weird assassin dude like just popped up and kept like I don't know, he just kept popping up in weird scenes or whatever. That's the part I don't know. I didn't like that plot. I wish there was more focus on like the scientist and his dynamic in the school and stuff like that.
I definitely get that. I do like how much there seems to be a little bit more of a logic to what's happening with the military stuff.
There was,
and it's not so much the like last week where we just randomly got a Cold War subplot that had nothing to do with Godzilla.
Yeah.
But yes, Wyatt. Enough about the fucking humans.
Oh wait.
Okay.
I wasn't done yet. I had a point I was going going with that.
Sorry.
So that part I didn't really get into. So as I was reading about the movie, I tried to read maybe a little bit about that and find out like I don't know. I was just reading about the human plot because I didn't really love that portion of it. Anyway, hello, sir, again. And the director had stated in don't look at it in an interview that he wanted to while directing a Godzilla movie was high on his list. He wanted to direct a James Bond style movie more than a Godzilla film. So he plugged that
why not both
that assassin plot into this movie. So that I thought was kind of interesting that like he shoehorned his passion into this.
That makes so much more sense.
It makes sense.
It's so much more out of fucking place.
It is. So that almost weirdly makes me kind of like it a little bit more.
That it was just him like, who's my one chance? I'm doing it.
Yeah. That's so. I don't know. That made me kind of be like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's kind of cool. But anyway, like you said, enough with the people.
Yes. Wyatt. Again, I spoke about Biollante being this monster that I had heard about time and time again and seen pictures I thought was super cool. What did you think about Biollante? That's moving out of the way of his butthole.
It's empty. First of all, that sounded like you were talking about like some kind of like a cryptid. Like I've seen pictures, I've heard stories.
It felt like
I love Biollante.
Yes.
I think Biollante is so cool looking. I love the size of Biollante. I love Biollante. Like the shots of Biollante like in the lake before the rose petals had fallen off. All of those like pulled back shots when it was cloudy and there was the lights.
Yeah.
And, man, those were beautiful shots. Those are great.
Yeah, with like mixed with like the almost like crying out.
Yeah.
Sound of it.
Yeah, it's eerie and like you can like I don't even want to call Biollante like a Godzilla villain because it doesn't really feel like Biolante's like a villain.
Yeah, which that's another thing I love because the introduction, yes, it's Biollante is not a villain, and in the first fight, it's not a fight. Godzilla fucks up Biollante, like tears her up. I don't even know if it's her.
I think we could call it her because Erica's spirit or soul is.
But yeah, it fucks her up, and like she ends up like obliterating into space pretty much, or goes up into the atmosphere.
Yeah, the pollen spores go up. Yeah,
and I love this is when you get one of the telekinesis people being like, "Oh, I hear your daughter in there." Like she's saying, she's in there.
Yeah.
And by the time, I love the idea that when Biollante returns and reforms, that she's like, no,
she's gone.
This is Godzilla. Like this is Plant Godzilla. We're fucked. We need to. And I love that. Like it was Plant Godzilla, but still had like a different set of powers. Like I love the acid burning away Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like the idea of a stationary or like a villain that's not or an opponent that's like burrowed into the ground could have the potential for not being the most exciting fight. Yeah. But I thought it was actually really good, especially the way it started like crawling through the dirt.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I had the same thought when it started moving. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Because like Biolante's huge, and it just started like this. It's like a mountain, just like moving at Godzilla, and like the closer she got, the more you were able to see like how small Godzilla was compared to Biollante. Yeah. And like her mouth is just like an alligator snout full of teeth.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's terrifying, but also like not like she's terrifying, but also like you almost feel bad for Biollante in a way, you know. So
it's a creature that it's the same way you feel bad for Godzilla in the first one. It does not know what happened to it.
Yeah.
It just appeared like this, and it was like, yeah.
That's true.
And yeah, again, I love the like way that the acid's burning away Godzilla, and I love the way it ends because it's very indicative of a fight that comes later. Of Godzilla just like obliterating, firing his heat ray into the gullet of Biollante and blowing it up. But what I also love about this is at the same time that we get Biollante, the Biollante fight is where you get the humans enacting their military action. And I thought the military like plan to take care of Godzilla was a lot more creative and a lot more active than like the 85 Godzilla. The way that they're like, we'll just lead him to the volcano, and then it just happens.
Right.
I love the idea of this one that they're like, they realize that Biollante raised the core temperature of Godzilla, and that's what they need to do. So you get like those like the mines and stuff like that, and there's a mine. It's like a electric shock.
Yeah, those like electric pressure plate things. Yeah,
which is awesome because that's how you end up killing the John Wick, James Bond looking guy.
Oh yeah,
at the very end because he's holding somebody up with a briefcase.
Yeah,
and then he literally gets zapped away, and it's like, what's happening? But
it's very weird.
Yeah, and yeah. So like, I guess what do you think of all that? Like the military plan mixed with the Biollante fight.
I liked it. I mean, it was different. Admittedly, I kind of didn't remember all of the details of that scenario, but yeah, it was cool to see the John Wick guy get like
electrocuted.
Yeah, and I think it was wasn't it the was he colonel or lieutenant or captain, whatever, the military guy that was kind of like heading the Super X program, like he was the one that like got him.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was definitely better than we're going to lead him to a volcano.
Yeah.
Because there was kind of stakes throughout where like, okay, Godzilla's like, the bacteria is getting to him. It's getting to him. He's kind of like wobbling and, so on and so forth. And then, his body temperature would kind of correct itself.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But the little traps that was pretty creative. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought that was really creative. I do want to give more of a shout out to the actual like the rampage that happened in Osaka.
Oh yeah.
Of like legitimately seeing people like running away. You get the soldiers that are like trying to kind of like trap and lead Godzilla, and then like Godzilla stares one down as he I keep saying obliterates, but like crushes the building he's in.
Yeah.
Kind of, again like really establishing that Godzilla is not necessarily a bad guy, but he's not a good guy either. He's a monster here to destroy. And I thought, again, all the action in this is fucking
good.
So good.
I did have I don't know if it probably is not there's not any truth to it, but like the scene when all like the kids are they're all drawing and they draw the same thing. I kind of wondered if like in GXK that was maybe there was a reference to that, like when I can't remember her damn name, and I hate that.
Maya.
Is it Maya? But
Mia or
Gia. Oh my God, Gia. When she's doing her drawing and stuff, and it's like through her mind, or telekinetics or whatever. I kind of had wondered if that was kind of like a reference to that. And maybe not, but
I had not thought of that.
That's what it made me think of that. So
that's
cool.
really interesting.
Yeah. Kind of fun.
Yeah. But yeah, and so eventually, I guess to wrap up the plot itself and the discussion of it, the movie, the way the fight ends is the guy Godzilla again like shoots his heat ray into the gullet of Biollante, and Biollante explodes pretty much, like doesn't explode, but like dissolves around him, and that mixed with the different things of like electricity that he keeps stepping on raises his temperature enough that he literally just nopes out into the into the ocean, and I think a really cool way of being, how do I say this, like that Godzilla is victorious but not, you know what I mean, a very interesting stalemate there, of like everybody involved, and then you do get that awesome shot as like the two now surviving protagonists, because the scientist ends up getting shot by the John Wick guy who gets electrocuted, and so then the I forget her name, but one of the woman who was helping out the scientist is talking to another one of the guys who's helping one of the younger scientists, and says he looked like Batman when he was helping out the guy, and then you get Godzilla raising up in front of the people for a really cool shot.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, it's.
I feel terrible
now.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the end of the movie. That's the plot. Is there anything specific you wanted to talk about, or that was like coming to your mind?
I guess just to kind of wrap up Biollante specifically a little bit. I know like those. I think the spores like went up into the clouds and stuff.
Yes.
And so on, and like you got the spirit of Erica, I guess, kind of communicating with the girl, and
that she's like at rest thankful, and happy.
Yeah. And I kind of wondered, like, does that mean that, like, does that mean, like, Biollante is dead, or is it just, like, her spirit is now at rest and those spores maybe are still, like, kind of out there?
Well, I happen to know the answer, but you're going to have to keep watching along to find that answer.
Son of a bitch.
They do answer that question later down the road in another movie.
Fuck yeah,
okay. But, yeah, and, I guess there's nothing really more that I want to talk about.
Pretty much
so, moving towards, like, final wrap-up thoughts.
Yep.
Is there anything more that we have not touched on that you would want to touch on right now?
I don't think so.
I guess for me, just reiterating, like I fucking love this one. I think this is one leagues better than like. Well, I guess we're gonna have to get into that in a moment here, but like I just think definitely improvement upon last week. Definitely a step more into the blockbuster era, the era that I'm gonna be more nostalgic for than I think more compared to some of the other services. And like I actually thought this one, what's funny is storyline wise, like for some reason this one reminded me the most of Godzilla versus Ghidorah, of like it was almost a better take on Godzilla versus Ghidorah. Obviously not a 1-to-1 because it's not an alien. I want to give a shout out because this is the first time in fucking forever that Godzilla's villains or rival is not an alien.
That's
it's
true.
a proper human creation.
That's true.
And that was a refreshing take. I think the reason I liked it so much is because like just in that kind of latter half of the Showa series, how dull the human plots got, and like it's just this one I adore this movie.
Yeah.
So with that, now we're going to get into the rankings of this, right as I need the rankings. But I actually don't, because so far we've covered 21 movies?
Yes.
21 movies. At number 21, we actually still have Godzilla Raids Again. At number 20, I believe we have Godzilla's Revenge.
Yep.
At number 29, I believe we have Son of Godzilla.
Yep.
Number 19. Number 18.
Oh, yeah, 19. Good lord.
At number 18, we have The Return of Godzilla from 85.
Right there.
At number 17, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. At number 16, we have Godzilla vs. Megalon. At number 15, we have Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. At number 14, we have Invasion of the Astra Monster. At number 13, we have Godzilla vs. King Kong from 1962. At number 12, we have Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. At number 11, we have Godzilla from Godzilla. I was going to say Godzilla versus 2014, but it's just Godzilla from 2014. At number 10, we have Ibra, Horror of the Deep. At number 9, we have Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster. At number 8, we have Destroy All Monsters. At number 7, we have Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. At number 6, we have Godzilla versus Gigan. At number 5, we have GXK, The New Empire. At number 4, we have the original 1954 Godzilla. At number 3, we have Godzilla versus Mothra. At number 2, we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters from 2019. And at number 1, still remains Godzilla -1. Wyatt, I think I know where I want this to rank. I want to hear where you want it to rank.
Oh, dearie me. I was trying to decide this while you were reading the list off.
Okay. Well, let me say my ranking and see if this sounds right to you.
Okay.
I think number 5.
Wow.
Right above GXK, but still below the original, below Mothra 2019 and -1.
Okay.
Just because this one is the start of again, very nostalgic for this era, very biased for this era. I'm not going to hide that at all. And I thought the action really stepped up in a big way. I thought the moments in this were really cool. Like you mentioned, like in GXK, the moment of the classroom. Like there's not necessarily a moment in GXK that I remember because it's been quite a few months and literally tons of movies that made me feel the feeling, the hype in the classroom and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah.
I think this is overall more so like if I'm looking for a Godzilla movie, this is more of what I'm looking for from Godzilla. But I don't think it necessarily touches the top 4 that we've established so far.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so initially when we came into this video, I wasn't all that excited about this movie, but the more we've talked about it and the more I've kind of relived some of the stuff that we've talked about,
it's fucking awesome.
I really like this movie. It's great. I think it's certainly not my favorite Godzilla movie, but I like you mentioned it. There's a lot of the things that I love that are kind of either progressing or starting at this point, and like it's building momentum towards the stuff that we love. So my ranking in this movie has moved up considerably from the start of this video. I don't know if I'm trying to figure out where exactly still, but
I think I have a perfect spot for it. But if you don't want to be on board, that's okay.
Okay. I don't even want to tell you where I was going to put it initially because I know you're going to hate me.
Oh.
It's not that bad.
As long as it's not below Sea Monster, I'm not going to be. Was it below Sea Monster?
It was one below
Oh.
Initially.
Okay.
Just because, I found,
I think that would give me a blood clot.
Well, but I'm also very partial to the Sea Monster movie, so
that's fair. There's going to be one we're about to cover in a little bit here that I will be very nostalgic for. That I don't think people consider one of the better ones, so I won't be offended.
Oh boy, let's talk about that after the video.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywhoozles, I think upon reflection, upon the conclusion of the video, I am stalling. Yes. I'm gonna put it under GXK as well.
Okay. So I want it at 5. You wanted at 6.
I wanted at 6. Yeah.
Okay. Let's rock paper scissors. So if you don't know, if we have a disagreement, we go through the scientific method of rock paper scissors to establish who is correct.
It's very scientific.
It's how we make sure that this list is valid and has no mistakes on it. I think we can both agree that this is a perfect list with no mistakes so far. Definitely not at number 10.
No, not at all. 10
not
is
at number
fine.
10. 10's great.
7, however, maybe.
7's pretty wild. Okay. Anyways. Okay, yeah, and we play rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fuck. Okay.
Damn.
Well, so Wyatt did get me, as he says. So now the new ranking is at number 22, we have Godzilla Raids Again. At number 21, we have Godzilla's Revenge. At number 19, we have Son of Godzilla. At number 18, at number 19, at number 22, we have Godzilla Raids Again. At number 21, we have Godzilla's Revenge. At number 20, we have Son of Godzilla. At number 19, we have The Return of Godzilla. At number 18, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. At number 17, we have Godzilla vs. Megalon. At number 16, we have Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. At number 15, we have Invasion of the Asha Monster. At number 14, we have At number 14, we have Godzilla vs. King Kong from 1962. At number 12, we have Godzilla vs. Kong. At number 13, we have Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. At number 12, we now have Godzilla from 2014. At number 11, we have Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, or Ibra Horror of the Deep.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ignore me. I miscounted.
At number 9, we have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. At number... No, fucking, you got me off my rocker. At number 10, we have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. At number 9, we have Destroy All Monsters. At number 8, we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. At number 7, we now have Godzilla vs. Gigan. And newly sitting at number 6, we have Godzilla vs. Biollante. So that means 5 is still GXK, 4 is still 54. Number 3 is still Godzilla vs. Mothra. Godzilla number 2 is still King of the Monsters from 2019, and at number 1 still remains Godzilla versus Godzilla -1. Oh, it's been a long day. It's a Sunday. I've had the day off. It's been
it's a football day.
But yeah,
stressful game.
Very stressful game for the Chiefs.
Good God, that was a piss poor game. Anyway,
and I went disc golfing. So.
We're creeping in on the top 5. We're getting closer.
We are
knocking on the door.
I'm very excited to see if the next week gets into the top 5.
I'm curious.
It's Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. It has been well over 10 years since I've seen it. Have you ever? You've never seen it?
No.
It's an interesting one.
I'm excited.
I remember as a kid having mixed feelings. I'm excited to go back to it.
I love the poster for it. It's the artwork
one of the
for
coolest posters.
These like the Return Biollante and King Ghidorah. That artwork is fucking awesome.
It's really, really cool. I want to give a shout out to. I recognize we missed it. This last week was the 70th anniversary of Godzilla himself, which is the whole reason we started this series. We wanted to be done by now, but as life goes, we had some setbacks in our schedule, and I currently do have a weird work schedule, so our uploads will unfortunately slow down a little bit. But we're going to keep at it. We're going to finish this series before we do anything else by the name of Job. I don't know who Job is. With that, please like, subscribe so you can follow along. My name is Corey.
I'm Wyatt.
And we got to get back to nerding out.
Thank you, guys.
About Godzilla. 70th anniversary. That's cool.
Yeah, 70th anniversary. We didn't forget or miss it.